We back 2022 steady rotation. We the jungle, yo. We back. Queso, my man, how you feeling?
Hey man, you know how to put some time. Had to spend some time on the island. Self-reflection, gang. You know what it is. We're still alive, which is beautiful. And bro, so much music already dropped, and it's not even the end of the month yet. It's fucking phenomenal. How about you, man?
Been chilling, like feel like I'm a little bit more settled in life now, and now we can get back on schedule. But I agree. There's been a lot of music, a lot of quality music, and a lot of drops. And then I think there's also been some potential here. I wouldn't outright say there's been anything that we've listened to in terms of the new recent stuff that's like outright like trash, I would say, but it's definitely like a discussion topic. And I think just starting off with, just our man, he's back from the dead a little bit too, Mr. Sweatshirt.
Sweatshirt. Hey man, first and foremost, how did you feel about the singles that dropped before the album showed up?
So it's an interesting question because it was Tabula Rasa,
Mm-hmm.
2010, and was it also Titanic,
No, no,
or was it just those two?
just those two.
Yeah, right. So, and I think Tabula Rasa came out first, right?
Indeed, it did.
Yeah, I think it's funny because when I heard it as a single, I was like, okay, this is like a nice little taste. But then I was like, as much as I love Feet of Clay, I'm like, is it going to go back to that whole like kind of realm of like, I don't know, just that whole camp of like Arm& and Hammer, like Navy Blue, like Makami, like all these guys are kind of in this aesthetic, and it very much so. But I really, really loved actually the beat, and I loved it more in the context of the album. I just thought the whole kind of sampling and like kind of how, kind of I guess like the keys were coming in and out, and I thought Arm& and Hammer they did a great job with their feature, and I think Earl, they both kind of shared the mic and the spotlight on the song. Um, and then 2010, I mean, like to me, that's a quality Earl track. I think it still needs more time to marinate in terms of like where I would put it on, like I guess the best Earl tracks of all time. Like if we're talking about like top
Oh yeah.
15, top 30, because I definitely think it has potential because that beat is like nasty, and he's kind of flowing over it like pretty well. The bars are there. You know, he's never like a high energy kind of guy, but there's definitely energy behind it, and I thought the 2010 like that song, I was like, okay, we're going in a different, not an entirely different direction, but maybe stylistically, instead of like what we got from Feet of Clay and some rap songs where it was just like these mundane, like dreary kind of beats, and sometimes they hit, sometimes they didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I think some of the reasons why I don't like, or maybe why I don't hold some rap songs to a high regard is like a lot of other people. It's just like I feel like I'm just like inundated with like these beats and this production that is just like, all right, we were just going from like
Bro, are you
it
telling
does.
me you're not a fan of The Alchemist? Come on now.
I mean, The Alchemist when he's like, I don't know, not smoking too much weed, I guess, but um, yeah. And then Feet of Clay was like an extension of that in a way, but more so scaled back and not as abstract. And I guess so I was like really hyped for the record, off of 2010 and Tabula Rasa, but I don't know. Then I got into the album and it was weird. Like I just didn't know. I guess
Kirk alert.
no, not necessarily Captain Kirk alert, but yeah. I mean, my overall impressions of the album is it's. I wouldn't say it's not cohesive, but it's just I don't really get the. I don't even think it's a sequencing thing. Like I just don't think, um, maybe the direction or the intention of the album fully like hits me, you know. And maybe I just need to listen to it more, but it's definitely like I could I could feel how short it was. And this is the dude who has like 20-30 minutes albums all the time. And like some rap songs, like that's an album experience within itself where you get lost in those 25 minutes or whatever, however long it is. Where here it's a little bit more like I'm a little bit like, all right, okay, all right. It's a little bit like you notice the time going by. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but
Hey man, you know, going into the before knowing the album's dropping, just hearing these singles, like you mentioned, when I heard 2010, honestly, the first thing that really stood out to me is like the beat work. I was like, hold up, this isn't just, you know, your
beat was
typical,
nasty.
like not your typical, you know, piano sample key thing that he does a lot with, you know, Alchemist and and the people in his camp. Like this reminded me of that energy, like I guess Doors energy. Not that it's like reminiscent of that, but just reminded me how I feel when I listen to Doors. And obviously the bar work is always there. Like Earl never lost his bars. He's a little lazy with it sometimes with the flow, but his writing is on point. You didn't hear the other single. I liked it. It was cool, but I didn't think too much about it. Then you guys, you know, blessed me to let me know he's dropping an album. Album dropped. I was hype. I played it from start to finish. I didn't think it was going to be that short, but like you said, he's done that before. I remember I Don't Like to Do Shit, you know, Go Outside back in 2015. I think it's about like 30 minutes, give or take. And that is honestly, arguably like a masterpiece within that man's discography. But that's a, you know, discussion for another day. Yeah, man. Yeah. No, hey, bro, if you're in that mood, like if you're in that mood, that will resonate with you.
No.
You know, we're trying to be better now. So, but with that being said, listen to the album. Honestly, I enjoyed all the tracks. I like the fact that the beats were being more experimental from what, you know, we received from Earl since, you know, Just Some Rap Songs and Feet of Clay. As you guys probably know, I myself enjoyed Just Some Rap Songs because I feel like it was presented as literally just some rap songs after like a 4-year hiatus. Feet of Clay, in the garbage. Only track that I like on there is that bonus joint that came with him and The Alchemist.
Hater.
Everything else, well, that and Cookies. I do like Cookies. That song do go hard, but he went too left for me. So hearing this, that he's kind of not being, I guess, so artsy fartsy or whatever that means, and just trying to like give you some more palatable music, I can enjoy it. The one thing that I will say that I guess I would have liked is have Earl pop his shit just a little bit. I felt that he was very comfortable in all the flows of pockets. And I think on the interlude track, if you remember that one, like that was a song that got me like the most hype. But even that was mostly due to the beat rather than like Earl, I guess, quote unquote, stepping up his flow. So it is kind of interesting to see that Earl is still kind of in his lazy, slow, drug hazy pocket. And when it comes to his raps, I would kind of like to see him, you know, try a little harder.
I think this is something I said in our group chat the other day. I was like, I don't even know if he wants to try harder because I'm not really feeling that on this album. I think that's the missing ingredient here is that he's been on this kind of stalemate like since Some Rap Songs. Like Some Rap Songs to me, like as much as like I feel like it wasn't like it's not my favorite Earl project, I can definitely see like this is an amazing album. Like there's raps, there's all this production everywhere. There's like the lyrics, there's kind of like this whole like crazy trip about it. But then it goes into Feet of Clay and then it goes into this and then there's some songs on this track like where he's like mumbling and just like lazily rapping over beats and like I guess he's, you know, he's not a mumble rapper, but at the same time, like he's also like a little bit incoherent, and then
mumble mouth.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, I don't know, man. I want him to try a little bit more. Like I don't like who is. I guess he's making music for himself, but I'm like, who's he making music for? Like I don't know if that's really an artist's intention. Is like I'm gonna make this for a certain type of person, you know, but
you don't got the answer to that.
Who?
Stone.
Yeah, but like I said, man, and then like Vision to me, I was hype. off of that track just from the track list before it dropped, and then it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. I feel like Z Loopers is doing his best like Dash impression. Um, right? He sounds exactly like Dash on that track. I was like, this is Z Loopers? Like I thought it was gonna be his like quirky shit. That's why I was like excited for that track because Z Loopers does that, very well. Um, but yeah, then like the other thing that I said too was, I mean, I don't necessarily know if he even wants to, achieve like the heights of, I don't know, like his potential. Like, did he peak with some rap songs? Is this peak yet to come? Is he done? Like, I don't know. Whereas, like, and I hate to compare the two because they're not the same at all, but, his Odd Future teammate, Tyler, look at him, man. Like, he continued to evolve, he continued to change his sound, and now he's kind of like top bill artist, and he's still kind of sticking to his creative guns, and he's still trying to do the things that he wants to do. And maybe he's able to do that more because of the style of his music and the style of his rapping. But Earl seems to be kind of like stuck in this loop, and I thought some rap songs was gonna like break the door open, because to me there's a lot of in his discography there's just no album is perfect.
Yep.
Except for maybe some rap songs, but I feel like we say that because it's like so experimental, and I'm just like that's one of the reasons to why it's so great is that it's experimental. But the other projects, I mean, Doris is his first project, and there's like definitely some rawness to it, but there's still great quality tracks.
How are you gonna skip the Earl album or mixtape, I should say?
Mixtape. I mean,
come on, are you gonna tell me you weren't bumping that back in high school?
I was
trying to plot some murders. I see you.
And sexually assault people. But then yeah, Doris had like it's a great debut album, but definitely it left you craving for some more. But then he just took a left with I Hate Shit, and then it's just like the only time I'm ever gonna listen to that album if I'm like super depressed. To me, it's such a forgettable project, honestly, because of that. Feet of Clay, like I know you guys think I'm like half memeing all the time, and I kind of am. I kind of like that project, but I do recognize like a lot of those tracks too are kind of mid. And then some rap songs, it's like great, but like, are you really gonna bump like some of the songs outside of the context of the album? Like, I feel like you can't even do that with half the songs on that project. And then this new project is like, like I think it still needs some time to kind of air out a little bit, and I think there's quality tracks on here, but then there's just like things that like, come on, man, like I don't know, like I feel like he should be pushing himself a little bit more. Maybe this was just a chill album for him. I don't know.
All I gotta say is this, man. Like, I enjoyed, obviously it was an enjoyable listening experience, and I definitely do like the direction he's taking with Sick. I do think one thing that at least for right now that's still kind of incoherent to me is to see if there's some kind of connective tissue that brings all these tracks together. Because one thing I will agree with you is that just some rap songs, maybe you can call it random, but there's a beauty within the sort of chaotic nature within that tape. And Sick, I definitely feel that Sick has a more stylistical purpose towards it, especially if you go on YouTube. You clearly know there's like a drug use, or like there's like drug visuals to like all the songs, which kind of makes sense. Like, oh, it's talking about Sick and probably talking about his past woes. I like that he's, again, hopping on new beats. He seems to be also introspective towards, moving away from, his like, more self-depressing, darker states, which is cool. But I can't say right now that this feels as cohesive as a tape as something could be. And granted, like it's like, again, it's 24 minutes, but I remember Daytona, right? Like back in 2018, it's only like 7 tracks, and I bring that album up because remember how he was supposed to drop King Push, and before he did that, he dropped like the Prelude back in 2016. So for him, drop an album that literally has less tracks than the Prelude and yet feels so satisfactory. Tells me that, you know, like you can make quality music without it needing to reach a certain runtime length. So I think Earl has it in him. I personally like the tape I like this tape because it's indicating a change. But I guess if this is like, let's say where Earl like ends his music career on for the time being, like, you know, like either just stops making music or he'll go back to his like 4-year hiatus, you know, it would be hard for me to defend to call Earl like that guy as he like once was. If I remember, you know, back in the Odd Future days when he was like that guy, you know, Doris, even though that you don't like, I don't like to do shit. I personally think that's a masterpiece, holistically speaking. But I do agree, you can't listen to it if you're happy, which right now we're trying to be. And, you know, shout out to Tyler. You call this his Call Me If You Get Lost. I think you're wilding. I think this is more of a Earl's cherry bomb, if you ask me. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Earl.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. It just left me more like, I guess, it's like you're hungry and then you think you're gonna get like a nice dinner and then it's just like, nah, we got just PB&J at home. So you're like, okay, I like PB&J, but I'm still hungry. You know, I still want a little bit more.
With that protein, bro.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think overall, like, yeah, I will still listen to that album. There's still tracks on there that are going to be in my rotation. But then there's just, you know, I'm not, I know it sounds like I'm shitting on this album, but I would still rate it like, you know, pretty strongly. You know, I think to me, Doris and some rap songs are always like in contention for number one, depending on how I'm feeling. But I think it fits nicely in that 3 or 4 spot for him.
That works. You know, all I got to say right now is I'm giving it a solid 7. I'll definitely listen to it more. And who knows, maybe like halfway through the year, suddenly everything clicks, you know, or we'll just forget about the album, just keep it pushing.
Pushing P.
No, not on the show. Not on the show.
Not on this show. I thought that album was pretty fire too, by the way. I'm not really a Gunna fan, but I thought, like, especially like the first half, or at least like the first 4 songs were like I was like, oh shit, this shit's kind of goes hard. I don't really give a fuck about what he's saying because I don't even really care or like Gunna that much, but he's making it work. But
how you feel about that diss?
The Freddie Gibbs shit.
Yeah.
That's not even I mean, if you want to call that a diss, then I guess you can call anything a diss. I just know Freddie Gibbs is probably writing some shit in his basement right now, and he's about to eviscerate this dude.
Yo, man, Freddie's eating good, bro. I'm happy to see it, man. Yeah. I'm happy to see it.
But going on. Go ahead.
Speaking about Freddie Gibbs, did you peep his verse on Cordae's album?
The Constipation bars?
I think, yeah, the track with him, Cordae, and Stevie Wonder's on the harmonica. Yeah, pushing bars.
He's talking about shitting. Yeah, I remember that.
Yo, let me ask you, bro, because, you know, now that we're talking a little bit about Cordae, well, you know, what's your opinion on him, right? Because, like, my introduction to Cordae was back when he was still with YBN, and he did that freestyle, you know, like the J. Cole freestyle of, like, 90, 85? But then he did it from the perspective of the young rappers. That was, like, my first introduction of him. What about you?
I mean, I don't know. I just remember him coming up and, yeah. I mean, I just remember him being part of that YBN group, and then he eventually dropped it. I don't know. To me, he's kind of. I feel like he's outgrown that up and coming kind of title now. I feel like he should be more established than he is right now. And I really don't know if this album helps his case to being established.
Hold on, bro. We're not ready yet. We're still doing the build up.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a fan of Cordae. Like, I have no backstory for him. Like, yeah, man, I was listening to Cordae in 2019 when he first. No.
Oh, word. So, all right, let me be the Cordae fan real quick, right?
All right,
so, like
ahead.
I said, I found him out, like I said, on that freestyle remix he did from J. Cole's 1985. You know, on World Star, back when World Star hip hop used to kind of be that the way the artists would break. I don't know how artists do it now, TikTok or whatever. I was like, yo, this is kind of hard. And again, because he was part of YBN, I knew Namir, but then I heard this dude actually like rapping. I'm like, oh, okay, he's actually rapping. And then the YBN crew dropped like a mixtape together. So I just checked a couple of those tracks where he was featured. I liked those. Then I heard he was dropping his, like debut album or debut project, whatever the artist called it, whatever the labels calls it for the sake of money. I listened to that bad boy. It was like back in 2019. And honestly, I was impressed because it was like his first tape ever. And again, me liking raps and bars. I like it when artists actually try to like write stuff or try to rap, not just, like not just trying to be a flow carrier or just try to create a vibe. You're trying to like,
right.
You don't even have to say anything, but just like try to be interesting with the words. So that's something that I, could really appreciate. And there are definitely some tracks on there that like just really resonate with me. The song with him and, Ty Dolla $ign. By the way, Ty Dolla $ign is a feature killer. That man is like anytime you see featuring Ty Dolla $ign, just know it's a vibe. That song is still like in my daily rotation. Then he also got 1,000 Words. That's a song that's about him talking about Instagram and social media and how that like affects his mental health. And then the final track, which also like again, there are definitely songs that I'm still listening to this day from him. Then I heard Dr. Dre was fucking with him and they wanted to work together. It's cool. He ends up dropping the YBN. I guess he had to, move on to bigger and better things or needed to disassociate from some of the BS that group was doing. Can't really say. And then, he's just like steadily dropping songs. He's doing songs with like bigger artists, which is cool. And then, we come to hear he's dropping a new album and I'm excited for that. So I'm like, all right, cool. Wait, I hear the album. I decide to listen to it while I'm just like kind of drawing, just like having fun artistically. And like, first and foremost, the production game definitely leveled up. I don't know if like Dr. Dre was involved or the budget increased, but glad to see that he's able to get the means to produce the best music. And then you also get some cool features. You see the Gunners, you see the Freddie Gibbs, you see hers, you see what's his name? Who's a dude from Chicago? He
Lil
Durk.
Durk.
Yeah, the Lil Durks. Again, so clearly like he received the fee. Either he's cool with these artists or he had the budget. So I was like, this it has all the elements to be a quality, great record that is an advancement for young Cordae's career. And at the end of the tape, I gotta be honest with you, it felt like a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
And like, not even like nothing like he rapped bad because he was rapping fine, but maybe like he was trying to present himself as like something bigger than what I personally thought he was. And I felt that some of the feature verses honestly just kind of phoned it in, like especially Freddie Gibbs on that track. Like, I don't know about you, but like whenever I see featuring Freddie Gibbs, I'm expecting like either the most amazing cocaine bars or the most intricate, raps with some sloppy flows. But like, it felt like he just literally phoned in his verse. Yeah. What do you think about that?
No, I think he definitely did. I mean, this is kind of expected from feature Freddie, to be honest. I feel like he's 50-50. He's either on it or he just completely phones it in. I think that's just the type of dude he is when it comes to features. I think the album, I listened through all of it and I was just like getting a mix of like J. Cole, like early 2010 Drake, and just like these bars that were just, I don't know, man, like it was just not what I thought was going to be part of what I was expecting in terms of just this having to be a way for him to maybe continue to build on kind of this status of, he's one of these up and coming rappers who can actually rap. And then I'm listening to him rap and he's kind of rapping about like, I'm the dude, y'all been disrespecting me. You can't fuck with me. And then I'm just like, well, I really don't know you, dude. Like, you got to prove yourself a little bit more. And like you said, I don't think any of the raps were particularly like terrible, but I don't know. It was just like rapping to rap. and I think
You know,
he's a decent rapper. He's a pretty good rapper. I just wish I don't know where his creativity comes from or what his process is, but I definitely think there could be a little bit more to it, just based off what I listened. And to be honest, like the first track that I liked came all the way at the end with Westlake High. When Westlake High came on, that was the first time I actually like got hyped or felt something about a song like in a positive way. I was pretty neutral for most of the track list.
so you know what it is, honestly, for me, because again, I can say 1,000% that this album, on a sonical or technical level, is better than his first tape. But the first tape has that level of heart, like when an artist drops their first tape, there's like some of the little mistakes or some of the isms in there that, like in retrospect, you can like always appreciate. In the same way how Kanye's flows are kind of sloppy in like his earlier works and stuff like that, or they're still trying to like find their identity. But and again, it I guess if we just like chilled on the braggadocious raps in this tape, right? If he wasn't trying to prove, like, rather than say I am that dude, prove to me you're that dude by your raps, then that would be impressive. It almost feels like we're treat like this. This felt to me like J. Cole light. And look, I fuck with J. Cole. Like that's like I'll be the guy who'll be defending the Mr. Zans until I die in the group chat. But like like I know that you guys like Loki don't fuck with him because you guys fall asleep, whenever you listen to J. Cole. But like listening to this album, I can sort of see, oh, this is how the homies experience J. Cole. And it's weird because he's rapping in, again, the era of hip hop where rapping is kind of, I guess, non-existent. We almost are giving him like a bump up to say, oh, look at him, he's actually trying. So like he's that next dude. But like it's just like he's good in comparison rather than the music itself being able to speak for itself right now. And I'm not saying that, who knows like how his third album is going to be and all that type of stuff. I still know that he had an amazing track with Anderson .Paak again on his first album. So I know that creative wise, like he can create cool stuff. But I guess ultimately all I'll say is like, look, bro, if you want to be, again, that GOAT character, that's cool. But regardless of the current era of rap being able to appreciate rapping like that or not, just show us why you're that dude rather than tell us. Because you're not Jay-Z. like some of these rappers, they can be on that braggadocious tip because they've proven it already for us.
Right.
You're still working towards that, bro. So like you said, who are you? I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I think it was a fine effort on his part, and I think it's great that he has a lot of these features that are like kind of, they have names for themselves. But I mean, I hope that like this album doesn't completely kind of maybe squander his potential and his future. Because I could definitely see there's a lot here, and I agree. Like that first project was, I listened to it like initially when it came out, but I haven't really revisited it. And I think it's kind of like this. This definitely is an extension, but also kind of like an upgrade in terms of the sound. I guess it doesn't really turn me away from Cordae, but it also leaves my head scratching a little bit. Like, well, I'm gonna need to hear a little bit more, like maybe some future singles, or I think his freestyle game is on point. I still think he was part of like probably top 10 double XL ciphers with Rico Nasty and Blueface. I remember that.
Bro, what you mean, bro? It's all about Lil Mosey.
Freshman of the year. I feel like the man.
All I gotta say is this, man, because like you said, like I do check out for this dude. So when I listen to his freestyles, Master Flex and all that type of stuff, like he has the chops. But then it's like, when you do the music stuff, obviously you gotta follow a more structured approach. You can't just, I guess, freestyle for the hell of it or just say the most crazy things.
Yeah.
But like, if he could harness some of that freestyle energy into the music he produces, I think he'll just build a better case for why he's that dude. I understand why Dr. Dre saw something in him. I'm waiting for him and J. Cole to click up. I know they will at some point, but until then, Young Cordae just, like this was not a bad album. In my book, this is like a solid 7. I'll definitely listen to this again. But I guess it sucks to me that I consider this more of a passive listen than one that I can like bump and really like study every word or line, because there's not too much to be studied right now. But the beat selection is beautiful though. I will say that, like, definitely quality beats.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
What's your favorite track on the tape, if you don't mind me asking?
The last one, Westlake High.
Gifted with Rowdy Rich. Is it Gifted with Rowdy Rich?
No, Westlake High. Or I guess, yeah. I just thought those were bonus tracks, the Parables and Gifted.
Okay. I'm still rocking with the track with him and Freddie Gibbs. That beat was just so amazing, and I definitely got caught up in the flow pockets of a Cordae in that one. And then shout out to Stevie Wonders, the harmonica. Freddie was vibing, but he was definitely just mumbling on that beat. But at least I like his tonality. You can definitely feel the energy in there.
Agreed.
Now, I gotta ask you though, bro. Do you remember our boy Jonathan? Jonathan Badass from the Brooklyn streets.
Oh my god.
We gotta talk about it, man.
I wonder, are we gonna talk about anybody that impressed us, like, at all in this episode? Like, so far it's just like, yeah, this person dropped and it was not that great, and now we're at the cherry on top, man. It's just like, Joey, man, like, just, I don't know, man, move out of that luxury apartment that you're in and get back in the trenches in Brooklyn, because I feel like he's lost his that sound, man. Like, it's kind of sad. This is like that whole like NBA 2K kind of soundtrack kind of song. It was just like, what? Like, it wasn't bad either, but I was just like, I don't know, like, this. It's like, I don't know, like.
Bro, it's Devastated Part 2, but like
the angrier version.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It's like this dude used to have a specific sound, and now the sound isn't there anymore. It's just like I don't know what, like, this is a different person. I don't even know what to do.
Hey man, maybe Joey got a clone out here. Maybe after he wrote for what is his name again? Post Malone. He just said, I need to get the bag. Look, man, it's not even about the song, honestly. Just like, Joey, this is not, even when he's trying to make hype tracks, there's still like a certain, either, pro era type sound or like New York type sound or whatever you want to call to it. This really just felt like he was trying to be on his trap shit. And it just felt like he was just following the masses rather than doing his, doing his own style or like giving his own touch. I don't know if you remember like the light pack that came out like last year. I remember.
Yeah, with the 3 songs, or was it 2 or 3 songs?
Three of them, because one of them had Pusha T on it. I remember listening to that, and honestly, that was just dope to me because it reminded me of that early Joey feel, and just made me think, okay, so he's going back into the into the crates, trying to figure out how can he reinvent that style, and obviously still move forward, but you still be authentic towards that. And this doesn't sound authentic to me at all. This new single.
Yeah, it's not authentic. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's not authentic. Look, I hope he gets his money from it because clearly it's a money play. But like, if the album is this, I don't even need to listen to it, honestly.
Facts, bro. Like, if we're gonna get a whole album of this, forget about it, bro. I guess I'll just listen to his old shit because that was his best stuff either way. All American Badass was, kind of eh. But if he's gonna continue this wave of just, I don't know, with this kind of sound, like this modernized, like mainstream hip hop sound, then I don't know. It's not authentic. Like this dude had like the Brooklyn raps and the Brooklyn sound and the New York sound, the whole pro era movement behind him, and now there's just like nothing of that anymore. Like, it's gone. I might be an overreaction, but
you need to restore the feeling, as they would say.
Yes, bro. I need that survival tactic shit. I need that sorry bonita shit. I need that, that Hazes view shit. I don't know, man. I need that.
Oh, bro, I actually forgot about that album. That album
Before
from
the
2014.
money, bro, that's his best project.
Bro, that album so many classics. Remember Curry Chicken?
Curry chicken. There's no
Him and
misses.
bro.
Christ conscious.
Bro, see, I can't even listen to that track now in the retrospective. Goodness gracious,
Bro.
damn.
Before we got to talk about before the money one of these days. I think that's like a very like underrated. I don't want to say classic, but it's to me it's. I'm not calling the album perfect by saying this, but to me it's a flawless album. It's not like the most like peak lyrics or production, but to me that whole project, you play it front to back. There's no misses. Each song is a quality track. There's no song that like is like an excessive like 9 or 10 out of 10. Maybe there's a couple, but to me, every song doesn't get below like a 7.5. And there's like few of those. I think on average each song is like an 8 out of 10. And he's rapping, and the features are killing it too.
What was your least favorite track on that tape?
I have to look it up. Hold on.
Damn, bro, bring me back to memory lanes. Joey, no.
Did the bonus tracks count?
I mean, sure, you can do that. I'm guessing you don't like the dancing track.
I like that track. Teach Me.
Yeah, teach me how to dance, how to dance.
Teach me how to dance, how to dance. Run Up On Ya is fire. I'll probably say Escape 120 or Black Beatles, one of those.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I think Escape 120 was not bad. It's like he was definitely on this dubstep tip for not dubstep, but the beat work was a little different. But yeah, no cap though. This album, see, I'm gonna call it a certified classic, whatever that means. I'm not claiming it's like I'm not saying this is gonna change your life or anything, but in terms of like what you want a hip hop artist to produce or like release as like a debut album.
Yep.
I don't see any misses. Yeah. Even the songs that again are more experimental and maybe like offshoots like the bonus tracks, they're still done good. Like the dancing track is a bop. Yeah. Like it's a bopper, bro.
I'm telling you.
Bopping bitch.
Like Me, OCB, Number 99, Big Dusty, Piece of My. Oh my god. But hold on, before we kind of close off this a little bit, just to kind of go back to Cordae a little bit. When I was listening to the album, I was like, this would have been like, a pretty good album like in 2015, like 2013. But now that it's being presented in this decade, it's just like that was another thing to me. I was like, this really would have hit like back in those early college days. This album, I would have loved this kind of sound because the production is almost kind of just like that Drake shit, like the early 2010s Drake shit. Some of that J. Cole, Dreamville kind of type beats. Yeah. I think
that's a really good take. I definitely agree. If some of these artists, like for instance, like there's an artist who I honestly have to genuinely give them like their albums like a proper listen. Coda the Friend, that's his name. Like I've yet to really give him a proper listen, but whenever I hear his music, I can say like, oh, this is something that I would have really much liked or enjoyed, like 3 or 4 years ago. But because my music taste being a little different and probably also just looking at the old heads that quote unquote I want to release more music. Sometimes I find that I guess just having bars, I guess quote unquote isn't enough, which is unfortunate for these artists. But also at the same time, they will get a younger audience, like in the same way how they were latched on to the Chance the Rappers, the Joey Badasses and such. I'm sure there are other people who are like, oh my God, Cordae is the truth. Like he's really rapping, and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a little bit of an interesting thing.
It's interesting that now that you bring back that era of rapping with like, with Chance on the come up, and then you had Joey doing his thing, and then like even like the ASAP Rockies, like um
Back when Double XL was like actually worth looking out for. Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah, and then even like the earlier TDE members, like with Schoolboy, like all these guys. It's interesting because now hip hop, when we're talking about like creative experimental kind of hip hop, it's now gotten to this point where it has to be. I don't know if it has to be, but like shit that like critics like jerk off over is like kind of like weird sounding, abstract, kind of like not really entirely accessible, I guess. But back
Maybe.
then, the experimental shit was like guys like Chance, having these tracks on his project like Acid Rap with like a little bit more flair and like kind of the voice inflections, but to me it was like kind of like a breath of fresh air back then, and it was like
Don't forget Danny Brown.
Danny Brown too, like, but all these guys were still rapping. Now it's more so about, I guess, like the vibe and the aesthetic, and that's now the highlight of an experimental hip hop album or something that's kind of groundbreaking. Now, it's just like I don't know which one I like more, because I do like the kind of the pushing the boundaries aspect of experimental hip hop now. But I also liked, last decade, like towards that early to mid 2010 stuff, where people were, like even Oxymoron, Acid Rap, 30, like production and style wise with the rapping, like the bars were still there too. The bars were still the highlight, the lyrics were still the highlight, but like there was a certain energy. Like Acid Rap to me has a certain energy, that's kind of more brighter, but there's still like a little bit of a kind of a depression or dark side behind it because of the realities of living in Chicago. Then Oxymoron is like gangsta shit, but like with a little bit of like spice in it, a little bit of also like introspection from Schoolboy.
Prescription drugs. Show me love.
Exactly, yeah. And then Danny Brown was like all of that together,
Bro.
but like crazy.
She Wanna Party All the Time is the realest track I've heard. Like, I don't know, man. Like, when you just listen to a song and you can just it just reminds you of so many people, or like that particular setting.
True.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess ultimately the real reality is that we realized that back in the 2010 era, there was still a desire or emphasis towards being able to, lyrically be interested, like lyrically have the chops to rap. But now it's about presenting, your raps in like an interesting fashion, which could either be done via, different production styles. That was like an introduction of trap. So like trap drums are still like rather new, or maybe just, like you said, even using certain vocal inflections or the ad libs. The ad libbing definitely became like a key component in the hip hop game back in the 2010s. I personally give it to the Migos for doing that, but I'm sure that Skipper the Flipper and maybe some other artists, like started that wave. People got to give Skipper the Flipper more credit, man.
True.
But yeah, I mean, now I feel like rather than trying to balance, creativity with skill level, it seems now like you're either in one or the other. It's almost like you have to choose between one or the other. And that can sometimes, again, lead towards, I guess, a less holistic experience where, like, shout out to Cordae, like, Whole Lotta Red. I was on top of that album. Well, half of the album since it dropped. I like it personally. I'm glad that people are now giving that tape, the respect it's due. And if you want to sit here and tell me like it's a great piece of music or a great album, sure, but then like to call it, let's say, the best rap album that came out in 2020, 2021, whatever, like that feels that feels like a disingenuous take. Or even like, shout out to my boy Zaywab, right? Like, House is Burning, still daily rotation. I'm not gonna hold it to you. But when I heard that Double XL gave Isaiah Rashad like the best lyricist of the year, based off of that album specifically, that sounds like cap to me, honestly. Like,
wait, was it a nomination or did he get it?
No, it was like a nomination. So like,
okay,
like Weeknd gets it, but like the fact that he's even in that conversation to me feels disingenuous. Like, I mean, again, I enjoyed the tape for what it was, and even that even brings forth like an interesting question. Like, if Captain Kirk was here, would Captain Kirk say that, Zay diluted the product because he was maybe focusing more on vibe than lyricism instead of trying to do the balancing act that we kind of know him to be able to do, especially from Sunset Raids and Sylvia Demo to some degree? Or is it just the fact that man just wanted to do something different? Who knows? But all I gotta say is it's almost like the presence of lyricism now is almost like this being praised, like, oh my goodness, they're actually rapping. But like they're not necessarily rapping to the most like they're not saying the craziest things or they're just using interesting flows, but again, like, using an interesting flow but not really saying much, like double time and all that stuff. I don't know.
Right. And really the only guys like who I feel like are balancing it well, probably JPEG Mafia. In terms of the experimental, like abstract kind of shit, like he's still, I think for him, it's still lyrics first, and then you support it with kind of the eccentricities of his production.
I need to listen to that man's albums. All I know is this: I listened to the track Puff Daddy.
Oh my god,
bro! All I gotta say is that the production game is insane, but like, and obviously is like the raw energy, like screaming type shit that triple X was on, XXXTentacion. But like I said, the raps are still there, and honestly, maybe I like his albums, honestly, because I know Denzel Curry's messing with him, and I've been a Denzel head, so if Denzel's able to give him the cosign, let me see what's up. But like,
I would say listen to his most recent one. It's called LP, like LP exclamation point, the offline version, because there's like there's one that's available for streaming, and then there's an offline version, and on the offline version, there's a couple more songs. But samples couldn't get cleared. But those songs, especially like Hazard Duty Pays, like Fire, like, and it just sounds like a regular ass like hip hop song. Like the sample's crazy. He's rapping, and for the most part of the album, I don't think it's like his any other projects where you listen to it, and you're like, what the fuck is this beat? Like it's like there's like a bass note every other 10 seconds, and then there's like cowbells ringing. Like it's not like that.
Got you. All right, man, I'm gonna have to listen to it. Maybe do a quick mini review next episode. Yeah. If I had to think of artists right now in the game that are trying to do the balancing act, I would probably have to go with what are they called? They're on Dreamville. They're from Atlanta.
Earth
they're
Gang?
like yeah, Earth Gang. Yeah, Earth Gang. I would say the Earth Gang, because whenever I listen to Earth Gang, I can clearly tell that they're trying to present their thoughts in an interesting. They kind of remind me of like early Chance energy, and I really do like the production styles like that they should go on. I don't really listen to their music like that, but whenever I do hear stuff, it's like, oh, again, this that type of shit that if you played this to me 4 or 5 years ago, like I would be Earth Gang, part of Earth Gang, but. I guess I'm in a different pocket right now. But speaking about Earth Gang, though, how you feel about that new Jid, single?
I really liked it. The 21 Savage feature was pretty good. Jid's was awesome.
It was pretty good, bro. It was slapping.
Yeah, I thought the only thing I was like the beat switch was okay. It was pretty good. Like I thought the second beat was fine, but it almost like interrupted like how good the first beat was, and everyone was kind of going in, and I was like, why did you switch it? Like it was going good, but then and then it still went well after that, but I was just like, I don't know, man, like dude, I mean, I don't know. That was the only thing about it, but I really fucked with that single. That shit was hard. I'm hype off. Is he dropping the project this year?
Yeah, that's it's what the grapevines are telling us.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is this, man. JID, he does not disappoint. Yeah. I'm glad he's getting his shine. I did not expect 21 Savage to elevate his rapping game like this. Like honestly, because I mean, would you have ever thought about seeing JID and 21? Besides the fact that they're from Atlanta, that's now to see them working together. So to actually see them work and actually have chemistry, and, 21 being funny with his bars, and then Jid doing the flow switch up towards, the second half of the track. I like the beat switch. I like the anomaly line when he's trying to do that little Fresh Prince flow, It was just, again, I guess listening to that track, it just reminded me of, hey man, good music just hits different, man. You know, like when you just listen to good music that you didn't intend to, you know, when you just like click on a song and you just press play and it actually like did not disappoint.
Yeah,
That was a nice.
I think
Yo,
Baby Tate did the thing too. Yeah, I thought the whole way the song was constructed with like kind of the sample comes in at the beginning a little bit before the whole beat drops, right?
yeah,
If I recall correctly. Yeah, I like how the whole song was constructed. Everyone showed up. Jid showed up. Uh, I feel like his flow is even more. It's getting to that kind of lethal kind of level a little bit. Um, his breath work is like I don't know, like I feel like it's so much better now. Um,
he put his 10,000 hours in.
yeah, I don't know, man. I really fuck with that single. Like I was kind of surprised. Like yeah, you're right. Like that shit was good. I was like, oh shit, this is good hip hop right here.
Good hip hop.
Yeah,
Ayo. But what do you think about that new Saba though?
the new Saba too. I liked it. It was definitely a different vibes. Like switching from the Jid single to this. I guess I'm ready for the new project that's supposed to drop next month
I mean, whenever
or
really.
whenever. I don't know. I'm ready. I'm ready to have my heart broken. Um, yeah, I was. It was a pleasant track. I thought he's back. Um, I don't know. I don't know if like he's been doing like features since his Take Care days, right?
Yeah, it's been dropping Lucy's and doing features here and there. In fact, him and Zay actually
Or
Denzel Curry.
care for me. I mean, my fault.
No, you got it. Yeah, like him and Denzel Curry actually have a track together. Believe it or not. Yeah, when I heard this song or this single, it just brought me back straight up to bucket list vibes, like his debut tape. So that obviously was like a nice little callback, and it would just put me in a nice little vibe. The feature verse, shout out to Bone Thugs, like felt like it matched the energy nicely. Just nice flows, introspection, and just again, it just puts you in a good mood. Again, like good soul food. So I'm excited to hear Saba's new take. I've been waiting for a mean minute. Saba's definitely like one of those cats I'm like looking out for. I'm kind of surprised that him and J. Cole. I guess I'm surprised that him and J. Cole never quote unquote like worked beyond the word besides the one track they did on the Revenge of the Dreamers Street tape. But here's to hoping that maybe we'll get like a special feature coming out over there. I definitely think that Saba and Saba and Chance they do magic together. So who knows? Maybe Chance in his redemption arc, can show why he's that dude, or maybe he'll rap about his love life.
His wife.
Stop it, man. He loves his wife. It's cool.
Ooh, I love my wife. I love my wife. Ah.
All right, man. So, any more artists that we need to like give our homages to that dropped so far?
The Weeknd on FM. That shit slaps, bro. I love that.
Hey,
I love that project.
All I gotta say is this, man. The only track I listen on that bitch is the one with Tyler on it. Tyler's an amazing producer, and honestly, I never thought I would see the Weeknd and Tyler work together.
Yeah.
It just speaks more again towards Tyler's continual evolutionary progress, and the fact that he really was serious about wanting to be a producer. I still remember, like, if we're going back to what was the album again? The one with the bees, Flower Boy.
Flower Boy.
Yeah, no. Remember how like I don't know if you saw the interview, but like there was a time when Tyler said there were some features that he wanted to be on his album, but those people just ended up dubbing him, so he had to like do the verses himself. And it's like y'all need that Tyler production on the low. I'm talking to you, Nicki Minaj. You need that. I'm not calling you music trash. I'm simply saying that Tyler sauce might just elevate it even more. Rick Ross, I definitely need that. Kanye, stop playing and just make an album with Tyler already.
Yeah, no, Dawn FM, front to back, solid album. And I guess we're gonna get a third, maybe later in this year, maybe in the summer. I don't know. It's a trilogy, so yeah. I mean, that's really the only other thing I've been listening to.
You haven't listened to that new Kanye?
My life was never easy. He fucked up the song with his verse. I kind of wish, honestly, he wasn't on it. I thought
I
no,
didn't.
no, no, no. I just think the game. I think he held up his own on that song. I was just like I don't know if we really needed Kanye. I mean, the verse was trash. Like, but put that to the side. Like, you could have given the whole song to the game. I thought the game kind of killed it on his shit. And it's
Yo,
it's not typically like a beat he would rap over too.
bro, I did not expect this take. Oh my goodness. So, sheesh. Well, I don't like the beat personally because you know how it does like the reverb thing. No, like no, not reverb. It plays
The reverse hi hat, or yeah.
like I'm not. I just sonically, I never like that sound. So whenever that's like the part, like a main part of the beat loop, it just throws me off. So that's why I just sonic again. If I don't like the beat, that's already gonna be hard. But I will tell you this: the game flowed on that beat like it was nothing. The wordplay was as immaculate as always. I like the reference with him, referring to Easy E and E and the Ty Dolla Sign, Ty Dolla Sign bars, very clean. Yay. I mean, clear. I mean, look, I'm calling it Kanye's album a track because we're talking about it because of Kanye. That's a fact. He's still Jesus gang, so shout out to him. He's a little bit, he was a little bit unhinged on this track, talking about his personal, family matters. I think that the bar of him saying like, let's go to court together was kind of cute, but like, I don't know, man. Like, how sometimes you write a verse and like, yeah, the verse is heartfelt and whatever, but maybe this could like stay in the studio. Like, it didn't have to be released. That's how I kind of feel about that one. I felt like, you don't have to be dissing I'm gonna beat, Pete Davidson's ass because I've, survived the car crash. Obviously, that's a funny ass bar, but like, come on now, bro. Like, you're 40. Like, I felt like he's old enough. He's old enough where there's a certain level of maturity, I guess, quote unquote. I expect it didn't feel like the braggadocious arrogance that's like funny. It felt more like a place of sadness. But that was just me personally.
Yeah, even the table bar, I was just like, and that was early on in the verse, I think. I was just like, all right, I was like, I'm out.
Easy.
Yeah, I mean, stylistically and his raps too. I was just like, you went from Donda to this. I don't know, man. I feel like because of this whole Pete shit now, he's not gonna drop Donda too. Because like anytime something happens in his life, he's like, oh, this affects my album rollout, so this will never come out. The man dropped this song, but we still never got Yandi. Like you decided to release this song, but we never got Alien.
My man said Alien.
Yeah.
We need cash to burn. That's the real one. But I don't know, man. All I gotta say is this: Donda still slaps, still sanctifying me. Pure Souls, 24, Off the Grid. Oh, bro, too many good tracks in that tape, man. Too many good tracks. If we're getting a sequel, beautiful. I don't think we are, but you never know. Kanye might just, or Kanye's cousin might just leak it for us.
I feel like we were at one point, but this whole Pete shit, not anymore. He's gonna come up with an excuse. He's like, now, I'm not feeling religious anymore. Now I'm gonna make an 808s, another 808s, but Jesus version.
Stone would probably love that.
He would. I would.
I don't. Look, man. I just all I gotta say is this, man. I wish and pray the best of luck to Ye in his current endeavors. Clearly he's going through a lot. I just hope that he can recognize that like it's beyond just him and his emotions. Like there are other people involved as well with his decision making. So I just hope he keeps that in mind. But on that being said, Down to still slap, still in the rotation, sanctification. The game, he's apparently dropping an album. I'll check it out when it drops. I'm not too worried. I thought he was done rapping after the album he dropped, like after his last album. But rappers are liars, so
yeah.
So talking about like albums dropping this year, supposedly, like, give me like a couple of artists you're looking out for.
Danny Brown, Kendrick. To be honest, Travis Scott. I know the whole controversy, but. Hey man, he didn't shoot those people.
Why are you trying to get us canceled, bro? Why are you trying to get us canceled?
Hey man, they acting like he like went in the crowd and like shot those people in the head. I mean, rest in peace, those people. Yeah. It's terrible. Like, I'm not trying to trivialize their deaths or make fun of them, but R.I.P. Um, but yeah, so Danny, Kendrick, Travis, one of the TDE members, preferably like Absol, just because I feel like he deserves, next in line. But if we get another Schoolboy album, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Hmm. Let me think. Let me try one more. Mm, no, I think that's it. I think I'm cool with that. I mean, I'm not really. I was about to say Playboy, but that guy, uh, he's a different breed.
He's a narcissist.
He's a narcissist.
Hey man, obviously Kendrick, come on, bro. We need it. I need that Kendrick, bro. I need that. I have my money on Schoolboy. For some reason, I have my money on Schoolboy or J Rock dropping this year. I don't know why. I would like a SZA project too, but I'm not like pressed on that. Like we'll get it when we get it. Absol, obviously, if he ever gets out of the dungeon cave, would love it, but I don't know, dude. I feel like either Absol's in a different place in his head where he's not like trying to rap like that anymore, or TDE's really just like not considering him as primary, seeing him as a primary focus. And I only bring that up because last year when the whole Kendrick news came to be, you notice how like they then brought up the new signee Ray Vaughn. They gave him like the little EP so he can start dropping some tracks. Reason was able to drop some tracks. He even dropped a little EP. My boy Lance Skywalker dropped 2 EPs. Zachary dropped an EP as well. And like we didn't even get like a Lucy or like a freestyle from Ab Soul. And it's considering like Soul, Soul's like that rapper dude. Like even just like content like that is more like off the cuff, like freestyle, like spur of the moment creativity. I think would just be able to like reinvigorate his fan base. So the fact that they haven't really capitalized on Soul makes me wonder again if like Soul is maybe they're trying to package it a certain way, or if Soul is not ready in the oven, like off or it's cool off whatever he made. But man, we need some Solo, man. But I definitely want some new Schoolboy Q. I need Schoolboy Q to redeem himself. And outside of that, really, I mean, Danny Brown would be nice. I kind of want another Action Bronson tape. I don't know why. I've been really feeling Action Bronson like for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Something about like the over the top nature of his raps just kind of like puts a smile on my face. Goes back to the whole like rapping by putting a certain edge to it or spin to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
he might. He might. He's been like on his Instagram. He's been like dropping like a lot of posts, and I think it's like called El Cocodrilo or some shit. Like he's been like just saying that a lot. I don't know. It could be the title of a book or something, but yeah, Bronson. Bronsolino. It'd be cool to hear another project from him. I'm trying to think of another. I mean, Kanye. Yeah, Kanye would be cool too. I have no hope for that at all.
Someone still remembers TurboGrafx 16, huh?
Or So Help Me God, or Good Ass Job. Yeezus 2, Yandi. Be cool to see another. I mean, who knows if they will actually drop, but Death Grips.
You still make music?
No, they haven't made it in a while, but they did make. They're one of those like they don't do shit online, but anytime they do, like people get hyped, and they hadn't posted anything in years on any social media. But like late fall last year, 2021, they posted a picture. And people think it's like an album cover or maybe the cover of a single, but there's been no news. So, but people have been like saying like the album's coming, but we'll see.
Okay.
I would be excited to hear like another, one of Alchemist's, disciples. I think all those albums that came out last year would be like really dope. Like if those guys can continue, like Boldy, another Armand Hammer project would be cool.
Album I want out of Alchemist.
Yeah. Vince Staples maybe again. off his, one of the best albums of last year. And then the
Facts.
Griselda boys. I hope they kind of chilled out. I ain't seen nothing being dropped on a weekly basis for a little while now, but um, to me that's like, I don't know, they're taking some time to really like maybe flesh out like a project from each one of them, and or maybe a collab of all three of them.
Boo, 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 boo. Grrr. Hey man, all I gotta say is this: shout out to the Griselda boys for grinding as long as they did. I'm glad that they're able to get recognition from the big dogs. They were on Kanye's album, so that's sort of a good sign. Definitely have quality bars, but I'm very glad that they're not oversaturating us. Also, RIP to Brockhampton, but I'm excited to see like their group project if they drop one this year. But you know, RIP to Brockhampton. No more Odd Future Light.
They were better than Odd Future. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I think Saturation 1 through 3. I mean, it outweighs any of the Odd Future projects. I mean, Odd Future Volume Take 2. Like, I guess you could maybe argue that one, but that's only because Odd Future never really even lasted that long. But I don't know. We'll see how the year goes, and yeah, steady rotation. We out.